Each drama school required their own CV, personal statement from me. Each of them have their own website, which required me in different word amounts. Ballet experience, write me a CV about that one. All about the acting, your contemporary dance. I mean, I applied for a wide variety of things, and that might be. Our audition process was the thing that meant that we get lower grades. I would say, and I think it would be fair to say, I'm a more experienced dancer. As soon as we're in a hall dance theory exam mode, I drop down to D's, which means that our final grades are going to come out probably quite similar.
In that sense, grades don't always equal achievement, because they're not going to look at whether I have an A level in dance, let alone what grade I have in it. Because
what's great about UCAS for university applications is that it's all together. You put in your personal statement, you put in the details, that then gets sent out. But even then, the ones I did on UCAS required a separate application.
Expenses, you have to pay a lot to audition. Josh had to write about 10 different personal statements. Everyone was looking for something slightly different.
And so it would mean that I don't have to do it individually in the way that I was doing, and it will save up so much time.
Future us will know our grades.
If people are coming on, so like you said, slightly younger, to hear about people a couple of years older and what they've done to get where they are in terms of the audition process, well, they want to know about those people. They want to be able to understand them, and how we kind of had ourselves for the last half hour chatting about some separate topics is us. It's me being slightly moody and grumpy and bossy.
You know what I've noticed since I pressed record, that you have actually changed your demeanour a bit.
You did.
Have I?
It happens naturally.
It's a completely unconscious thing.
That's crazy.
I learned all about it in English. People completely change when they're being recorded.
Yeah, and
well, that's evident in our drama log.
Jacob Perry.
Because you and Jacob were like, all right, well,
Just say Jacob Perry. I'm also very guilty.
I know that video. That video is one of my favourite
It is
videos
quite
because I know the context of that day, and if you watched that and didn't know the five of us, you'd think that I was very reserved. You'd think I didn't want to be there. You'd think all of this, but actually, we know the context. I'd had, excuse my French, the shittest day.
Oh, I'm gonna have to bleep that now.
Sorry,
man. If this gets used.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if this is going. I had the worst day, and I had been taken out of all my lessons. I'd had panic attacks all week. I was doing so badly. I was really struggling, and it was awful. And then all of a sudden, I had to be filmed on.
I don't know what you're talking
just because this is feel more relaxed, you can just turn them up a little bit.
Oh, right. That way.
That way to make them a bit louder. Sorry.
That's okay.
Mainly because I'm not talking directly into the
mic.
mic.
I'd had a really rubbish day, and I was really struggling and going through it, and decided not to take 4 A levels, and it was just rubbish. And then
gonna hold it like this.
And then they were like, yeah. Well, Mr. Turner said to me I didn't have to do it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna persevere. And he was like, you can go home now if you want. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to do this milestone. And I literally sit on camera and look so depressed and sad. And I was just going through it. But usually, in a class discussion, I was very chatty. I have a lot of opinions. I'm usually very smiley, very bubbly. And that just one video caught me on a bad day. And it was so funny because you guys, who maybe usually would be a bit I don't want to be here, or a bit more laid back, all of a sudden were yeah, and so I really think, and
am I being included in this?
No.
Okay.
No, I meant those two. No.
You said you guys.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
I meant
that was because it was finally a subject that I could talk about, that I felt like I actually had the authority to speak on it.
In Road.
But was it in Road?
Yeah.
I thought it was on Absurdist stuff.
No, that was Road.
I remember feeling confident to speak about it because I remember feeling secure in my knowledge that I had something to say about it.
If you want to listen to Joe speaking more about things that he's comfortable and knows all about, tune in next week.
Yes.
Because
that's exciting.
Cameraman Joe is going to feature on the podcast, and camera woman Kaitlin is going to take over.
I am.
The duties.
I'm actually really excited about that. I love doing the kind of backstage stuff because I never really get to do it. Also, I'm sure we'll do a disclaimer at some other point, but just in case we don't, Josh and I are dying.
Yeah. Well,
We're really
actually,
ill.
Can we just keep in that first 3 minutes?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
what
I think
at the
Well,
beginning of the
will-
podcast? Like, I feel like we need some. Sort
Will
of
Jacob
intro.
mind me
I think
saying that,
that's
do you
a
think?
really interesting way to just-
Can we do like a hey guys, this is Josh, or do we just launch straight?
We'll do it in a minute.
Do we like
I don't
do
know.
that and then cut that to the beginning and then like put that as?
It's like a cold open.
Personally, I do not think we should cut a second of this first.
Do we do
That's
it?
fine.
We could do it like
Well,
a cold open.
I'm just gonna say hello now then.
Okay. Go on then.
Welcome to the Movement Theories podcast.
Hi.
My name is Josh. This is the lovely Kaitlin McCann. We've already been chatting about half
That's
an hour
very lovely.
about this as a project, and
Not on
decided
camera, only about 10 minutes on camera.
less than
Yeah.
yeah, and decided let's just start recording. So
Yeah.
there was a bit of a cold open.
Love that. Yeah, and our disclaimer for this episode is that Josh and I are very ill.
Yes,
and
we
so
are very ill.
it's going to be a chilled vibe today.
If you're a bit of advice, start this video with a fade in.
Ooh, see,
My-
you should be
dis-
editing for
That's
me.
the perfect way to start a video.
My disclaimer
Video
keeps
like
getting
this,
interrupted.
Sorry,
It's
that's
okay.
the perfect way to start a video like this where it's already in the conversation.
Yeah.
Go on, Caitlin.
Okay.
I should
My-
get you editing though.
Okay. Take like 5. Go on, Caitlin.
You all need
These
to watch.
photos are really good.
You all need to watch the Barbie film, and then we need to come back and
We're going to watch it at some point.
we are. Josh and I kind of want to do Barbenheimer. Thank you. Yeah, and so I apologise mostly to our audio listeners who, I mean, video is at least get to see our faces. Audio is just hearing my like blocked face.
Yeah, but hey, look, we've got polos. I've
We've
got
got-
some Prime, which KSI. You just give them a pack. We've got another one here. You can have the rest of them.
meant like camera wise.
No, don't try. Oh, okay. I just meant like give. That's fine.
That's all right.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
audio listeners.
Got some polos. Caitlin brought me some lemon lime
Because
Prime.
I'm really nice.
Which when I first tasted, I had polos in my mouth beforehand, and I had mouthwash because I was ill and didn't want to smell, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" But as soon
That's
as,
the same face I pulled.
yeah,
And I hadn't had any mints in my mouth.
but actually, you know what? I don't mind it too badly.
Are you sure?
I don't mind it too bad. I'm drinking it.
Honest
I am drinking
review.
it.
Out of
Honest
5.
review. Out of 5, I was gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Oh.
Just as it was.
So 2.5 out of 5.
Like it's okay, but I think it's hard for
This
me.
one or the pink one?
This one. It's hard for me because I'm not an energy drink drinker, so I'm not used to things like Lucozade.
The fizzy pink
Whatever.
one is very nice.
Okay.
The best one is the blue one. The blue
I refuse to believe that. Well, I'm allergic to blue raspberry things anyway. Not just blue raspberry. Colourings
Colouring,
and things.
Today we're going to be talking about do grades equal achievement? However, not in great detail because we're like about to get our grades.
Yeah.
So we don't actually know, but we're going to
Has
talk about
this-
what we think about it.
When this comes out, is it the weekend before or the weekend after? As I
I'm not
say?
sure, but results day will be
Around the time.
soonish.
Also very soon,
It's the 17th of August.
Yeah, I think afterwards.
Well, future us will know our grades.
I think this will be like the 21st.
Cool.
That kind of around then.
And I'm going to get Josh's grades, which is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm off in Leicester, so Caitlin's.
I'm going to pick them up, which I'm allowed to do. I just need to go
And
with a
Caitlin's
note.
going to find out before me.
Well,
what my
yes.
results are.
I'm not going to open them until you're on the phone.
Yeah.
And then we'll...
Oh, you're not?
unless you want me to.
I don't mind.
But I feel like I should do it once you're on the phone.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
I'll open mine before we're on the phone. I'll open mine as soon as I get them.
that's fine. Yeah.
But
but
I'll wait.
we're going to be talking about do grades. I don't want to divert too much.
No. That's okay.
Do grades equal achievement? I think in the future we'll have some like professionals
Yes.
potentially being interviewed who can give us a more deep dive
Expand.
analysis. But I think we've got to do a disclaimer. I think it's important for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if talking with polos in my mouth is a good idea.
Audio listeners are going to be
But
loving it.
We're just going to be talking about what we
Preface
think.
that You're both very sick.
I tried to twice, and I've been interrupted every time.
Yeah,
Did you actually get through it?
No.
Okay, we'll give it now.
Disclaimer. Sorry, this is mid-disclaimer, mid-your disclaimer.
that's fine.
Josh and I are very ill. We've both got some kind of flu, which is kind of ironic considering that it's literally today, filming, is the 1st of August. And so it's going to be chill vibes today. And I apologise. Is it the 2nd? 2nd of August today.
When is results day?
17th. So in 15 days. But we've we're gonna get through it.
Yeah, so
but it's just not gonna be the most high energy. We're just chill vibes today.
So this episode will come out the weekend after you get your results. So
So-
if you got results you didn't like, well, you're going to find out whether they're actually equal achievement to an extent. Disclaimer, though,
Yes.
that we're yet to have any guests on who can give you more detail. But this is going to be us kind of talking about it from
How
what
we
think.
feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about auditions, and do auditions need to change in any way is actually going to be the title of the video. I think.
Oh, is that today? I thought that was episode 9.
You said you wanted to combine them, didn't you? You sent me a little thing and you were like, let's combine our audition experience and do grades equal achievement.
Oh, I've gotten
I thought
confused.
it'd be very funky if our audition experience and then do auditions need to change were like
That's a very good point.
back to back.
Yeah, no.
But I'm going to talk about
You go for it, and then
I
I'll,
think.
because I've written some questions, we're going to interview each other like we did last week, which
Yeah.
we really enjoyed. We loved the interviewing process.
Yes.
So we're going to interview each other about each other's drama school experiences, because we've got very different experiences.
Yeah, this has been a very long introduction.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that 4/5, which is very specific, of people have already clicked on.
But
No, you got
Let-
confidence.
This is raw. This is unedited.
This is us.
Cameraman Joe's being our little cheerleader today because
We
we
should get
need
some
it.
pom-poms.
We need it. But we're going to start with it. We're going to start with a game that Cameraman Joe has lovingly prepared for
Are we
us.
starting with it?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's the
Oh,
opening.
man.
We're starting with the game. Our brains are not quite switched on, but this is
No,
gonna
we're not.
this is gonna warm us up. This is gonna make us feel switched on, ready to talk about all of our topics.
Oh man, the polos don't hit with
No, I
this.
bet not. So we're.
Oh, this is
Look, he stood up.
This is like a forfeit challenge. Polos and Prime.
Ew.
Lauren is no longer
It doesn't go.
sat on the window
Cameraman Joe has stood up. He's
It's no longer
for the
breaking my room.
I mean, the video listeners can't see you either, but
When
the
you were
audio
sat on the
listeners.
sink, I swear I saw it start to...
I felt it start to go. That's
Yeah.
why I was
Joshua.
Well, I was the same. I think I was the one who initially cracked it.
Oops. Okay, ready? Are you ready to start? We're playing Truth or False Theatre Edition.
This first question, I feel like, is a bit of an easy one. My dad even knew the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we gonna? How
We need to do this more
are we
often,
gonna
this
like
is
buzz,
exciting.
or are we gonna?
We're gonna put
Well,
our thing...
I'm going to say the question, and you're both going to... You're going to...
Oh, can we? You're not gonna reveal it straight away. We can both answer. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I'll,
it.
I'll say
Cool,
it,
cool,
talk
cool, cool.
about it, and then come to an answer.
Love that.
All right. Number 1. Philip Schofield
Oh man.
once
Interesting.
performed in a stage production.
I know this one. I know this one. I know the answer. Go on, answer, because I know the answer.
Was that it?
Yes. True or false?
I feel like it's true.
It is true.
You can.
Sorry, I got really excited.
I feel like that would be
that is true.
I thought it was going to be like, what character did he play? Or
He was
something,
Joseph, wasn't he? Oh,
Isn't Philip Schofield the one who was like kicked off for an intimate relationship
Yeah.
yes.
with a young boy?
His
Problematic.
There was another BBC. Sorry, diverting slightly.
Sorry.
I saw this thing and it was like, oh, ITV getting. Is it ITV?
yeah.
Getting all the attention for their dodgy presenters, and then BBC comes and one-ups them, and one of their own presenters.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
they said one of our presenters has got like...
yeah, it was the guy who announced the Queen's death.
Yeah, Hugh something.
Oh man, what is it with these old white men? I feel like
You
it's
tell him,
fine.
Josh Cambridge.
I feel like it's fine saying that.
Such a Barbie ally.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm excited.
Anyway,
for Barbara.
that's true, isn't it, Joe?
that is true, yes.
Thank you very much.
Question 2. Tap dancing.
You need a better poker face.
I do. I'm really rubbish.
Oh my god! I know.
I got so
Obviously,
excited.
it's true then.
Tap dancing originates in the Netherlands from street gangs who attach metal plates onto their shoes in order to make their kicks more potent in a fight.
If you've
Okay.
created that, that's
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say, I feel like that's also true, but also Netherlands wear clogs, don't they? In the Netherlands, and I feel
False.
I feel like
False.
clogging is like
False.
is quite similar to tap. I'll say true. We'll play
No,
devil's
it's false.
advocate. True.
Okay. That was absolutely false. I made all of that up.
That's impressive. I would have believed
Joe had a
you.
little like his mouth had a little.
Yeah,
little
it's his
thing.
give up. You need
Yeah,
you need a
you had,
better
like, a
poker
little
face.
Smirk that like.
You've got to give. You've got to tell.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. I should have kept it to myself.
Cameraman Joe's currently hiding his face so that we can't see.
I should have kept it to myself so Kaitlin didn't know what his give was.
No, I could see what his tell. I could tell I was just being interesting.
I think you should both look at
Interesting.
each other.
Yeah,
Really?
I know. Crazy
Okay.
man.
The oldest person ever recorded to do a backflip was 90,
This is such a Josh question.
4-year-old Walter Leisner
Oh, true.
performed a backflip into a swimming pool?
94. I feel like that could be believable.
He didn't survive afterwards, but he did.
Josh,
No, that's a lie.
you think it's a lie? I think.
No. What I just said.
Oh,
was a
right.
I
lie.
feel like now Josh is just trying to play mind games with you.
I feel. Yeah, he's looking in my eyes. I feel like it could be. I feel like knowing Joe.
Are you recording your scores, by the way? Because I'm not doing it.
No, it's all right.
I'm winning. That's all
Whoever
that
in the
matters.
comments can count up and let us know.
Bit of a penalty.
I feel like knowing Joe, it'll be a true fact, but it'll have like changed the age, and it's like not actually 94. It's like 90.
Ooh. Well, I'm full confidence. It's true.
You gonna say true?
Scores are going to be who ends up with the most polos on their little thing. at the
Okay,
end.
I
And
got
then-
one, and you got one.
Josh has got 2, you've got 1.
Oh yeah, because I gave the first one away, didn't I?
A little bit.
Eek. Oh well, I was just gonna say.
Why can't I open?
I was gonna say false. I was gonna try and make it interesting, but I feel like it was the last. No, I'm gonna say false.
The ambulance is a paid actor.
I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna say false because I think either Joe's changed the age, and I don't think he'd
I
go
think that's
true,
very
false,
valid.
true.
I think that's very valid. But Joe changed it, but I'm saying it's
So
true.
Okay.
You're saying it's true. You're saying it's.
No,
Other way
I'll go
around.
I'll
You're
go
saying
around.
it's false. You're saying it's true.
Yes.
Keep-
Kaitlin says it's false. Josh says it's true.
Josh is going 3 for 3.
Oh,
That is
man.
Maybe I just need to stop
did he
trying to
survive
play
afterwards?
devil's advocate.
I think so. I feel like.
Well, I guess it would be a bit of a morbid fact
Yeah,
otherwise.
no, that's true. It's true.
And it recorded, I feel like it's not a successful backflip if you die afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's just called a weird suicide.
Oh, gosh,
Oh,
right.
man.
Moving on.
Paul gets fined for manslaughter.
But that's such a you question. Josh will break that world record one day. I truly believe that.
If I live to 95,
You will do.
then I'll break the record. but yeah.
I believe it. You will. You better.
Thanks.
You've got to outlive me. That's the rule.
True. All right, then.
Actually, women tend to outlive men. There's a fun fact for you.
Thanks, Kaitlin.
It's okay.
The first recorded woman to ever perform on stage was Margaret Hughes in 1666 when she played Desdemona in Shakespeare's Othello.
Man, Othello is old.
Ooh. That's a really good question.
It's false.
I'm going to say true.
Women weren't allowed to perform.
Women weren't allowed to. That was in one of our other episodes. So I should remember the dates. 1666.
False.
I feel like for its.
I'm going to give
This
myself.
this could be wrong, but
I'm gonna
for
give
its
myself
time.
already.
Oh, that's. God. I feel like for its time, Othello was quite. I mean, Joe can correct me as an English student. Othello was quite ahead of its time.
Where was it
Don't you
performed?
think?
In terms of race roles, yes, because Othello's like the earliest powerful black character I can think of.
Therefore,
false.
I feel like women maybe as well.
I don't know.
I hope so.
dunno.
I'm going to say true because I'm being optimistic.
Caitlin's going true.
False.
You're going false.
Oh, don't say that, please.
Giving it to Kaitlin.
Oh, man, really?
For the women.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
For the women.
That's fuming. There you go.
Josh doesn't want to allow women on stage. No, let's not start that as the thing.
Wow, imagine. Imagine.
These
You know, the
next,
amount of people would hire me for that.
I know.
these next
It's
three-
not
The old
true.
white men. Yo, well, that's a roll right there.
Josh. Oh, right. I thought you were saying you get cancelled for it.
No.
No.
No, I was saying all the awful people in the industry would be like, that's it. We want
It's
them.
true. It's true.
These next 3 are good ones.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Isn't Andrew Lloyd Webber some kind of... Well, Cinderella was a thing. I feel like there's a lot going on with it.
Oh, we can delve into Cinderella at some point.
Yeah.
There is a lot to talk about Cinderella.
Yeah.
There is a lot.
There'll be something else.
But I wouldn't... from my knowledge, I wouldn't have accused him as a misogynist, but
No.
he's
I'm not a misogynist, by the way. I like to make fun of Kaitlin. I'm probably a bad boyfriend. Oh my god.
Oh my god, conspiracy theories.
That's been cut out.
I'm glad that you guys didn't notice what I just said.
What did you say?
I said, and all other women.
No, Josh
No,
is...
we love women here.
We do.
And I love you.
I love you too.
I feel like you're trying to make up for an argument that hasn't happened.
No,
Yeah.
we
No, it happened just like in our eyes.
in our eyes, we can communicate telepathically. I actually think we do sometimes. Sometimes I can just look at Josh and he knows what I'm thinking.
That's not true.
It is true.
No, false. False.
We go. We're
Let me
gonna
just give myself one.
we
already.
look at. Oi, no. We're other thing about us very competitive, so cheating is not allowed.
Oh, damn it, really? That ruined all my plans.
Joshua. I like how
Let's
conspicuous these words are. Right, go on then.
Yeah. Lin-Manuel Miranda was inspired to write Hamilton after getting frustrated that so many people mistakenly thought Hamilton was the president.
I really hope that we...
I just heard
false.
something beep. Can you just check the camera? Is it all good?
Camera's good.
Cool.
I-
Something just beeped. It made me felt suspicious.
I really hope that they can actually hear Joe.
Me too. Otherwise, we'll. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. I keep giving you things extra
Wait,
to
let
edit.
me check something. Both you, shut up for a sec. Lin-Manuel Miranda was inspired to write Hamilton. Yeah, the bars are going up a significant.
That's fine.
amount, I think
Cool.
that's fine.
Ready? I like that question. I think it's interesting.
I think it's false. I'm going to give myself one already.
Stop trying to give yourself ones. We need to move the
How
polar
about
back
this?
into
How
the
about
middle.
this? I'll give myself
Just
one.
cocky.
I'll give myself one. If you get it right, though,
No. 'cause
With an
you're
opposite answer, I'll
you're
give you two.
Sneaky, keep it. No.
I'll give you an extra
You
one.
want a wager?
Yeah.
You can't barter tags, okay?
I'll put it back.
Oh, let me. Shall I zoom in on the photos?
No.
No, it's fine. But not
So-
that interesting.
I don't.
Neither, aren't
I feel like Americans are very aware of who they're.
I feel like we need an answer.
Oh, you
Mine's
said false. Okay, I'll go false.
Okay.
You're both going false.
There's a chance to win a polo here that I won't win.
I'm going to say true and just hope I don't get cancelled by any Americans.
Okay.
Josh.
Oh,
No, I haven't. I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
I have.
Yeah, you
Oh,
got
I
it.
thought you were doing mind
I'm
games with
so
me.
indecisive. That's my issue.
I thought the mind games. I thought like
yeah,
Josh.
they
you
wouldn't have
haven't.
thought he was president. They know he's one of the founding fathers. Because I feel like Americans are very.
Hayden, you know so much more about Hamilton than I
I
do.
feel like they're very aware of their presidents.
No, the reason I actually wrote that question is because there are an unbelievable amount of people who thought Hamilton was president.
He's on one of the dollar bills, isn't he? So I feel like that gives him.
To be
some-
honest, right.
Also signed the Declaration.
People could think anything because I said Hamilton was Phantom of the Up. So
Yeah, that was concerning.
that was before I started musical
But
theatre.
Lin-Manuel Miranda was actually inspired to write it after reading Ron Chernow's biography of Hamilton on holiday.
I actually think I knew that. Sorry, I didn't mean to give like
Would have been
ASMR
great if
there.
that was the question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But no.
I know I've said this.
I've really let myself down after the Philip Schofield question, which is quite embarrassing.
Yeah.
These next two are insane.
Okay.
In terms of hard or just like, or just insane question. Go on, let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Comment. Right.
We'll comment.
Sean
We will.
We gotta be. Like,
Oh,
Sean
gosh.
Lowe is able to perform his amazing dances in spite of missing a toe on his left foot, which he got from being involved in an accident when he was 8 years old.
False. Joe's come up with a story. False.
Think about Sean Lowe's feet.
Just cut that. Clip that.
Have you ever
Just
seen
clip that.
the little toe
False.
on his left foot?
I'm going to make an assertive decision.
oh.
How the tables have turned.
I'm gonna give you this one here. I'm gonna say true.
So I've said false, you say true. Okay,
Yeah.
go on then.
You actually think it's false?
No, I think it's false. Josh thinks it's true.
I said true.
Yeah, but what do you think?
Oh, it's probably false. Yeah.
It's false.
Yeah, I thought so.
I
I thought so.
I really
I thought
wanted
so.
to get you out with that one.
I
Yeah, no, I
love
thought so.
how most people with a false fact would make it really basic, but Joe's gone like hardcore, like
Yeah.
storyline, back up to everything, and I love it. I think that's great.
Some of the true facts.
I really want to eat one of these.
I've also done I've got backstory for it.
I love it. I love
See,
it.
I knew that one was false, but I said true anyway just to make it.
Are you
more
on
interesting.
4 or 5?
I'm on 1 to 4.
And I'm on 3. So if I get this one, we draw. And if
Well,
you-
how many more questions are there?
one more.
There are
Oh, sorry.
3 more.
Oh, I thought there was one
Actually,
more.
No,
hold
wait,
that.
There are 4 more.
Ooh!
Amazing.
Joe Burren.
Yeah, we're very slow, but we'll like spend ages diverting.
No, but I think that's good. I think that's
sure,
interesting.
Sure.
Go on then.
Stephen Sondheim's real name was originally Stephen Puckman. He changed it as he thought people would change the P to an F in his name. He got the name Sondheim from his favourite author, Arthur Sondheim, who wrote acclaimed novels such as Manchester Sun and When the Day Breaks.
True.
I'm going to say true.
That is a complete Joe Burren fabrication.
Wow.
You're too good. I feel like we asked the wrong person to write questions
No,
because these
the
are
right
just
person.
hard.
It's so
If we got it every time.
Yeah,
that would
they
be
were
good.
easy. Mine was going to be about, because I was going to write some, but then I thought it's cheating because I'm going to answer them.
Originally, I had it as.
I was going to have the one about
as
a leg in a
Stephen's-
theatre.
Originally, I had it as Stephen's sometimes real name was Stephen Berger.
Burger.
But
No,
feel
I
like
would
that
have.
Yeah.
was that as-
I-
Puckman is good. Puckman's good.
Puckman.
All right, let's hear the next one.
Go on.
Where am I? The first ever stage musical was, or the first ever recorded stage musical
Oh,
was
that's
The Black Crook, which premiered in New York on September 12th, 1866.
False. No.
Do they have cameras back then?
So I
Oh
thought.
no, not recorded as in like recorded on film, recorded as in like recorded in history.
Oh.
What is the first musical?
The first stage musical that conforms to current stage musical conventions.
Interesting.
False. I think it's earlier.
True.
Okay.
Josh's polo stack is only getting bigger.
Yo! Let's go. Kaitlin, I know so much
How many
less.
polos are you on?
I'm on 5, she's on 3.
I thought it would be earlier than
Yeah, but he
that.
did false for the last one.
I know. I
It's
can...
false for the last 3.
I feel like that.
That's true.
Does
Okay,
your thing need tightening?
I'm really sick, so
And I'm not. Have you heard my coughs? They aren't fake. Or are they?
or are they? Is he just acting?
I'm not that good.
I really want to eat these. They're just sitting in front of me.
Well, afterwards you get your 3 and I'll get my 5.
Thank you. Oh yeah.
The original
Okay.
ending for Les Miserables
Oh, she should know this.
ended much more tragically, with Cosette being poisoned just before her wedding and Marius committing suicide out of grief.
Nah, false.
False. That's Romeo and Juliet.
Is that where you got it from? Romeo and Juliet?
And there's so many Romeo and Juliet things.
Oh my god, that is yeah, that's false. That is Romeo.
That is
Damn.
Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
Thank you.
We both get one.
But there's so many Romeo and Juliet. I think Les Mis came first anyway, and it wouldn't be a Romeo and Juliet tribute. But there's also so many Romeo and Juliet tributes, like West Side Story.
Kaitlin, this is like very much like theatre questions.
And it's funny which
I'm here
ones
as
you
a
get
dancer.
right.
You're here as the theatre nerd.
You're just cleverer than I am.
Maybe.
I tried to look up ones for dance, but they were always like, where would your left knee be in the flying crane position, or crap like that?
I would
Oh
have
my
no
god,
idea.
he comes
They were
out.
really crap.
Yeah.
That's so
Alright,
exciting.
The 10th and final question.
Oh,
The Movement Theories podcast is the best performing arts podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. True or false?
Not the best on Apple.
yeah, we're like 60
Not the best on
first.
Spotify. I'd say for.
Subjective.
Yeah, Josh, I think Joey wants us to go true.
Did Amazon on there as well?
Yeah.
We get no views on Amazon. But YouTube, there isn't anything else really that could compete against it. So I'm gonna have to say true on that one.
Josh,
What are you saying, Caitlin?
true. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the right answer, and then there was
The logical answer. No, Josh, you're so glass half empty, and I'm so glass half full.
No,
and that's
like,
why we balance each other
We're number
out.
661.
That's
on
really
Apple.
good.
That's
So
not
it's
the
not
best
rubbish.
though. Number 1 would be the best, but on YouTube, like there isn't really anything like this. on
Well
YouTube.
done. Cheers.
Let me zoom in on those polos.
Ka-ching.
It's just my hand. So I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4,
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well,
With one in my mouth. So 6.
very
Well-
well done to you.
Thank you for listening to that.
Polo aren't sponsoring this, by the way.
Oh, I just zoomed way out. Sorry.
Oh man.
We'll have to cut that.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a lot of editing.
Just leave this blank.
Polo aren't sponsoring this, by the way, and nor is Prime, so. But if they want to sponsor us, if we can get any sponsors, would be much appreciated.
No one's watching this who would go, "Oh, a sponsor, let me buy that." Like, come on.
I'm being optimistic.
Yeah. So, grades equal achievement.
Results day.
Results day is coming soon. When this is posted, it would have happened. And if you didn't get the grade you want, oh no.
No!
I was
There's
channeling my inner KSI.
There's
then.
other ways.
I felt like he would have gone like, "You suck," and been really aggressive. Kaitlin, Caitlin's going to be really upset when this is released because she found out that she's not going to be able to go to Central. Is that too mean?
That's really rude.
Yeah.
But I think that's interesting. Let's talk about, maybe start as, actually I think, does grades equal achievement? As in, we're going to drama school, and what we can honestly talk about is what our predicted grades are. It's not predicted grades, sorry, what our grade requirements are. So I'm going on a drama applied theatre and education course at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, or that's my firm choice, and I need 128 UCAS points, 20 of which I have already from my EPQ, but that's kind of a relatively high expectation. I think it translates, 128 translates to roughly about AAB, something like that.
But with EPQ?
But with EPQ, it would be
ABB.
lowered to ABB, I think.
Can I pause you there?
Yes.
There was a little costume change. We had a little break, but we're back now. This won't matter to you. It'll be edited out. However, now we are back. I wanted just to make a bit of a statement, basically. And the question was about grades equaling achievement, and do they? Well, to an extent, you do need certain grades to progress to higher training. For example, at GCSE, if you want to study a BTEC or A level, you'll need certain grades, like a grade 6 in English, I think, for our BTEC. So, yes, it is important. And then your A level grades will then help you get into university. University require grades more. For ourselves, our audition process basically helped us.
You're quite far from the mic.
I'm not going to speak. I was hoping you'd turn it on to Josh.
Oh, it is turned on to right now.
1 second. Our audition process was the thing that meant that we get lower grades, which was good. So we'll talk about that, I think, maybe more in a little bit. However, for A-level dance, there was a 50-50 practical to theory divide, which makes the grade you get, makes it interesting, because I would say, and I think it would be fair to say, I'm a more experienced dancer
Yeah, I think so.
than Kaitlin. However, Kaitlin is better at writing and reviewing
It's true. I can write. Could write for England.
than I can, and some of that comes from writing speed and brain to pencil to paper, because it takes me a while to process things. And it's interesting because actually in drama, we get similar grades in theory.
Yeah, but that's different, I guess, isn't it? Because it's a BTEC, so
And we can spend as much time
you
on it
get
as we want.
resubs. Yeah, and I, in some ways, would argue that in our logs and reports and things, you've actually done better than me in the sense that you've had to resubmit less. I've had to resubmit all of my work.
True.
Gone to take it from merit to a distinction,
Yeah,
but I've been
only-
able to do that by taking on feedback, whereas yours tends to come in at distinctions.
Yeah, no, that's true. My voice really went.
We're really suffering. I apologise.
And so what's interesting is when I can spend as much time as on I like, and it's not an exam condition, I excel, and I can get top grades. But as soon as we're in a whole dance theory exam mode, I drop down to D's, which means that our final grades are going to come out probably quite similar, because your theory is exceptionally high, my practical is exceptionally high, but your practical is a bit lower and my theory is a bit lower. But if we both come out with a B, for example, very likely, that doesn't mean that we're both the same as dancers.
No.
It's just that our grade's fair, but if we go and apply for jobs, it's you got an A or a B or whatever it was in your A-level dance, and they use that to distinguish between us. It's well, actually, that's not a very accurate way of doing so.
That's why this industry is so much more based on auditions and your talent at the time, because if you're 26 and auditioning for a show, they're not going to look at whether I have an A-level in dance, let alone what grade I have in it, because if I could have an A-level in dance and have been really good at that point, and then not danced or done a dancing role for those 8 years, and then gone and auditioned for this, and if they've gone, oh, she's got not that I think I'm going to get an A star in dance, but oh, she's got an A star in dance in this hypothetical situation, and then cast me based off of that.
Yeah,
and then
it'd be stupid.
Oh, exactly. So I think in that sense, grades don't always equal achievement, because in this industry, for like specifically, I guess, because I think our grades help us to get into university sometimes,
and go from GCSE to A level,
and to get what people call muggle jobs, to support yourself to be able to audition for this industry. But I think a casting director, I mean, this is something
I think, are they more likely just to ask, like, do you have your A levels? You say yes, and then they just leave it at that.
I don't
feel like
know,
that would be asked,
but I don't think so,
because getting your A levels is like an achievement. It's like you've worked hard, you've got your A levels, and if they know that you can do that, surely that's a bit of a reassurance in terms of what you're like as.
But there are people that go into the industry at 16.
Oh yeah, no, that's also true.
Don't do A levels,
but then they'd have that experience to speak for it.
Well, exactly.
Instead.
But I don't think a casting director would ask, and I don't have a resume, really. Don't have, but I don't think that is something that, like, at that age, like when you're auditioning in the industry,
matters too much.
That you'd put on your CV. You might say, oh, I trained at Central, I trained at Bird, I trained at Erdang, whatever. But I don't think you'd put what A levels you have, because if you look at a program, they put I trained at Erdang, and these are my credits.
Obviously, A levels in that sense don't matter, which is where then auditions come in, and from my audition process, it kind of leads to the question of, do auditions need to change? And I'm saying that because the audition process felt very individual. Like there was no, like, UCAS as a website is great because you can do everything together.
Well, just about. You didn't apply for all of yours through UCAS, did you?
So yeah, so this is kind of what I'm saying is, like, for university, you can do it all together. Yes. But do you mind plugging that one on the top? Oh. But what's great about UCAS is that what's great about UCAS is that I can't think.
Oh no. Sorry, I'm being blinded by it.
Is there a green light on top?
Yeah. There you go.
What's great about UCAS for university applications is that it's all together. You put in your personal statement, you put in the details, that then gets sent out. However, my problem with the audition process for drama school, there wasn't anything really like that. A few of them you could do on UCAS, but even then, the ones I did on UCAS required a separate application. And that's where I find a problem with the audition process, because not that I'm, like, lazy or that I have a problem with having to do a lot of work. I mean, this is evident of it. This podcast is a lot of work.
Yeah, of course.
However, I think just for people, it's just so much for you to do.
But I also think it complicates it so much more and can turn people, like, people could be really, really talented, but it could put people off applying to lots of places because of the amount of expenses. Like, you have to pay a lot to audition. Not only do you have to pay a lot, you have to fill out all of these, Josh had to write about 10 different personal statements and then apply individually through all these websites, then prepare like 10 monologues, 10, everyone was looking for something slightly different, which is, your face. No, it's true, isn't it? And
it's funny because I've got like this written down, and then you've like, because you know so much about me, you can just like speak through what.
Yeah, well, it's true, isn't it? You've gone through. Yeah. These audition processes weren't easy, and to be expected to do all of that on top of your A levels, which the majority of people who are applying for drama school are doing.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Like it was really, and my process was different, and we'll get onto that. But it's really tough and a lot to do. And
I'm going to talk about my process.
Yeah, we'll go into it more deeply
now.
But
you did like a good little overview of everything that happened. So each drama school required their own CV personal statement from me. So I'd done my personal statement. That had taken me a while to kind of perfect it, and I hadn't realised that as soon as I logged on, each of them have their own website, which required me in different word amounts. In different, they were asking for different variations of things. Some were looking more for like my ballet experience, write me a CV up about that one. Some all about the acting, your contemporary dance. I mean, I applied for a wide variety of things, and that might be why maybe it was more difficult. I applied for some that were pure acting, some that were more singer actor, some that were very MT triple threat, even split, some of it much more dance based. And that was because I wasn't completely sure where my future was going to lie. So I applied for a range of all of the ones that were the best. So the Central, School of Speech and Drama, Lambda, GSA, places like that. I applied for all of the hardest ones to see, like, because I know that I have talent and I've got a lot of experience, especially with the gymnastics and contemporary dance. And so I was just wondering, okay, well, where am I going to lie? And it ended up being Bird, and I think that's because of my dance experience, totally. But in terms of the process, I had to write out so much more, and it just took up so much time. And it would be really great if there was a website in which you can just put your dance experience, maybe in different dance styles, what you've done for acting, and then that just gets sent out. Like UCAS Conservatoires is like, it's cool.
I was just going to say,
it's not the same. It would be good if it could be the UCAS Conservatoires, and then just like drama schools, or where they can all come together. Maybe even if it's a separate website, but just where you can put all your details once in one variation.
Yeah.
Well, not one, a bit like one format. It doesn't have to be changed at all, and that just gets sent out, and you can just like tick the places you want to apply for. That would be really great, which is basically the UCAS system. But obviously that's only for university. And so it would mean that I don't have to do it individually in the way that I was doing, and it will save up so much time.
Yeah, I feel like UCAS Conservatoire thinks that's what it's doing, but actually when we went to look at stuff on UCAS Conservatoire, it was only like Bath Spa. Like there was not
Chichester.
Yeah, there was not a whole load of options. Obviously things like Erdang weren't on there, Bird wasn't on there. Like there were so many.
I can't remember because Bird comes under University of Greenwich, so I still put applications in, and Erdang I applied through City of London, and that was on UCAS. But that wasn't it. I still had to go onto their website, make an account, go through all these details. There was a lot to put through. And it would just be great if you could just do that once and just send it off all at once. And then when you do your audition, maybe at a stretch, it compiles all your details and it sets up an audition schedule for you. Maybe.
That would be amazing.
Where it's like you go up for this week and it's got like on this day you're doing this, this and this. And you have several different songs and monologues, whatever, maybe 2 or 3. But you then have your auditions over the week, and so you kind of lead up, you got this big week, you go up and you do this thing. But for me, mine was so scattered, it just became really expensive.
And I think, especially people who are from London or surrounding areas, or even just big cities, have an advantage. And like we're from Devon, and so it's really tough because firstly, nothing comes here. Like no auditions come here.
No,
but secondly, like that's quite a trek for us to go from here to London so many times. And so if you're in London, you're able to just do all these things. But like we had the most insane day or 2 days for our central audition. Like it was ridiculous. I mean, I'm happy to tell that story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Well, so Josh and I both auditioned for Central for different courses. I went obviously for the drama applied theatre and education course.
I went for their acting musical theatre course.
Yes. And our auditions were on the same day. We were like, great, this is cool. Josh had been up doing some already, and so the plan was I'll get on the train.
Yeah.
No, I'll finish the dress rehearsal for the show that I'm in currently in Exmouth. I was in Elf the Musical, and I finished the dress rehearsal about 6 o'clock, got on the train about 7, and then got the train up to London Paddington. And I was like, we'll meet Josh there. You'd done your BYMT concert.
I have,
and was going to meet me at the train station, get the train, and then go and stay with your family friends just outside of London.
Had I done any other auditions?
You'd been up for Dang? Question mark?
Maybe.
You'd done a few
I've been
that
staying
week.
with my friend in Essex.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I did one, or I think I did Bird
Yeah.
at the beginning of the week. Because Erdang, I stayed with my dad's friend. And
Yeah.
he drove me to, like, I remember him driving me to the bus stop. And then me kind of going around London on my own, going to Erdang. And then I think I just went home straight
Yeah.
after.
True.
But I think with Bird, I'd stayed with my friends in Essex for a week. So I think I remember telling them that I got in and them just being like, wow. This is
Yes,
great and
yeah.
stuff.
Because then
And-
you'd found out you got an in, and then you were going into Central with a better mindset because you were like, this is all right.
And then at the BYMT course, I was like telling my friends there, like what I got. And they're like, oh,
Yes.
that's so perfect for you.
Because
And,
I found out Josh got into Bird in school, and we were getting our mock results for our dance back, and Josh phoned me. It was really funny. So we've got a story in a story. Josh phoned me and went to tell me that he'd gotten into Bird, and at first he said he didn't want anyone else to know. You were like, I don't want to tell anyone, like I've not told anyone. And so I was sat on the phone going, wow. But I didn't want to like give my reaction away to the rest of the class. So they were all just sat there looking at me. And then you were like, oh, this is a bit anticlimactic. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so excited. So proud of you.
I don't think it was that I didn't want you to tell anyone. It was like, it was like, I couldn't tell anyone.
At the audition.
Yeah.
But I misunderstood that and so didn't want to give the face away. And then you were like, no, it's fine. And so I rang him back, and then you told our dance class, and then I told you your mock results.
I know.
So,
I remember this better now. Yeah. So I'd
It
done
was
the
so
audition.
funny.
I'd phoned you and I was like, no, I got in, but I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. And you're like, oh, well, okay then. And I was like, you're going to say well done?
yeah, no, I
Like-
was so proud and so
Yeah.
excited. And if I was on my own, I would have been so much more animated.
But you were in your dance.
But I was in the middle of a dance class, and I thought that Josh wasn't allowed to tell anyone, so I was trying to keep my reaction chill,
Bit of a
I didn't want
miscommunication.
I didn't want everyone to be like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" and then me being have to be like, "Nothing." And then we were like, "Okay, that's fine." And then you got a nice cheer from everyone, and it was a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
But anyway, you'd gotten in. It was very
I got
exciting.
in. And then at the BYMT Christmas concert, which we, on the very last number where everyone came together, we were singing about like Christmas, whatever. It started snowing outside. There were windows on the back doors, and it was like, wow, this is great.
That's where the story starts.
And I remember it feeling like, wow, this is so perfect. But it wasn't perfect because no one knew the lyrics to the last song, because it was one they just chucked at us last minute, being like, learn this, and here's a little dance routine we're
That's
going to
so
do.
musical there, though.
So we were doing it like 5 nerds had like learnt the whole thing, and like 60 other people hadn't.
Yeah.
And so we were like, yeah, it was shambles.
But it was snowing, and you were feeling so festive. You skipped down Liverpool Street.
Didn't skip, I slid.
Slid.
I had my flat skateboarding trainers on. I've stopped skateboarding now. And I found, Joe doesn't approve, and then I found that I could just like slide on the snow and just travel. So I do like a couple like fast steps, risky, might fall over, and would just like slide. And it got me back so much quicker back to Liverpool Street. Went back to stay with my friends in Essex, stayed with them for a couple of days.
Well, no, not after the Christmas concert.
Was it the day after?
No, the night. So Josh was at his Christmas concert.
Oh no, I was going to go back stay with him in Essex.
Well, that's
we were
where
going
I'm
back
getting.
together.
That's where I'm getting.
Oh, man.
Josh did his Christmas concert, slid to Liverpool Street Station, and then went to London Paddington to meet me.
I think our cameraman needs to do some yoga.
But I was on the train, and it started snowing. How exciting. Apart from the fact that then all the trains started getting cancelled and we couldn't get anywhere. And so I had my mum on the phone, Josh's mum on the phone, and Josh on the phone, all trying to figure out what to do. We booked a hotel outside Central last minute, which is very expensive and very sad that we had to do that.
Yeah.
But it was an adventure, and we were like, okay, got to London Paddington. I gave you a big hug. I was like, very happy to see you, very proud of you. I think people thought we were in some long distance,
Yeah, because like we
ran
got
up,
off your train.
We ran up to each other
had
to
a
give each other a
massive
hug.
I swung you around a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was a
And
group
they
of
were
people,
like,
group of girls who were like, oh my god, hello there.
Looked like we were something out of like those YouTube videos you see, like the
Yeah.
viral ones.
Oh man.
Bless. But then we were like, okay, went back to this hotel, went to sleep, got up in the morning, we sat in the hotel eating breakfast, and you were very nervous. I was nervous. And then I got an email. My phone went ping. Got an email from Central. Your audition is no longer on. It's not on in person anymore because of the snow. No one can get there. I thought, great, I've travelled all the way to London, paid all this money, and now my audition's not on. So then I emailed them. They said, email us if you're here. So I emailed them saying, I'm here. Can I come in person? And they said, yes. I thought, thank God. And Josh's was still on in person. You didn't get any emails. And so I went and bought us a meal deal for lunch. And we traipsed into Central. And then so my audition wasn't till 11 and Josh's was at 9. So Josh went into his and I sat down with a group of people in the kind of foyer area, and they were all going around and saying their ages, and I sat down and they went, oh, how old are you? And at the time I was 17, so I was like, oh, I'm 17. And they went, oh, you're a bit young. And then they realised that they were on an MA course, and so they were like, oh, what are you here for? And I was like, I'm here for date. And they were there for movement therapy and dance therapy. No, movement therapy and... Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm losing my mind.
It doesn't matter.
Drama therapy and movement therapy, which is what I'd love to do when I get older. And it was amazing to get to talk to them. And then we arrived, did our auditions, which was definitely... They were an experience, which we can go into if you like. And then we left later on and I went home, and then I got into Exmouth, walked into a theatre, and then walked straight on stage and did the dress run in the theatre for Elf.
It was very impressive.
It was good fun.
It's got very good work ethic.
But it was chaos.
I think, because we're taking a lot of time, I think we're going to wrap up on one last thing.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
That being a question.
Okay.
Which I'll present to you, and we'll go back and forth for a little bit, and I think we'll then end it there.
Okay.
I'm draining.
Me too.
Well, you seem very energetic then. You were like leapt into it.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling. Promise you
Josh,
that.
your voice has slowly deteriorated
Yeah.
in the course of the podcast.
The audio listeners are going to be like, who's this?
Joe, does it sound husky?
I feel like every minute it sounds like you've smoked another 100 cigarettes.
The last question. I think maybe it's just because it's just like blocking at the back of my throat and really cute stuff. Do we need more? I'm going to restart this. Do we need more accessible ways to train?
Yes.
In theatre.
Yes.
For example, the cost of going to train at Tring Park.
Yes.
Which little story, which will be much briefer than Caitlin's there.
Sorry.
Was
I love that story.
A couple of years ago, year 8, I got into Tring Park to do musical theatre. Bearing in mind my musical theatre experience was Les Mis, this was like crazy. Although I think dance was the main thing I was going for, and it was like musical theatre was on the side. But it was really, really expensive, and so I had to turn it down. And it's just crazy to think, imagine if I had gone and how different my life would have been.
It would have been incredibly different.
I think I was so fed up with sounds awful, with hard work back then, because I'd just been every week of my life had just been training for something, some sort of dance training. And then after the last 3 years of me doing this thing from 14 to 16, 17, I just hated having to work hard. I just stopped. In gym, I stopped working hard. And I can tell you confidently, at the start of this process, I was giving it my all. For dance, definitely. I made loads of progress at the beginning. For gym, definitely. I then just stopped seeing results, or stopped seeing opportunities for me to show the world this type of thing. And then I got so demotivated, and I can tell you I wasn't a hard worker.
I think that's long-term burnout though, isn't it? During that period. And I've started to find that I am now working a bit harder. You work incredibly hard.
Recently.
Give yourself some credit.
But there was definitely a period where I stopped, and so maybe going to Tring would have been wasted on me, and also lockdown that also
paying
wasted
that
on
much through lockdown.
But do we need more accessible ways?
Yes.
And what could they be? I've got something down here saying is the audience there? Cost of things like Tring, is the audience there?
I would say the audience is here because we are the audience, because one of the main things we can speak about is the fact that we live in Devon. I've lived here in the same house my whole life, and so I can assure you that places don't come here. Nothing. The biggest thing you have is the Princess Theatre in Torquay. 6 went there, but that's about it. Like, we don't
Yeah.
have touring productions. Companies don't come here for auditions. Even like in Exeter, Yasmin Vardaman comes to the North
Every now and then.
every now and then,
Yeah.
but like the opportunities for us as performers, things don't come here and offer us anything big. Like, we have to travel so far, which costs a lot of money to audition for things or to be a part of things that, like, nationally or of a non-Amjab level, which really is tough and therefore shuts off a lot of opportunity. And I would say that we're not in a minority, and I think we notice that when things do come here, that I'd argue there's a huge audience. Everyone, when Six has come to Torquay a few times, which is amazing, and I have friends who maybe wouldn't be interested in musical theatre necessarily, who've gone to see that because Six is a huge thing and people have heard of it and like it attracts them. And so maybe if more things like that came here, it would attract more people. So I truly think that the audiences are there, and we are in we used to be in a company full of young people who would have really benefited from more local auditions, more, you know, even BYMT and MYMT don't come down here, you know.
No.
BYMT goes all across the country. No one comes down to Exeter. And
It's true.
I think it's because we're seen as a bit of an ageing population, but we are young. There are young people here
And there's a
who
lot
would
of
love an opportunity.
There's a lot of crazy talent from this area as well.
Yeah, and
we
so
think of previous people from that company who've gone on to do things.
Amazing
There's
things.
the alumni is there
it really is.
for sure.
And so
yeah.
it's really frustrating that things, you know, we are going to travel to London next year to live and to work,
and we're
to
lucky that
train.
we can do that.
We're very fortunate, and I think it's going to be very expensive, but we're going to have to work our little socks off and
Yeah, for sure.
manage it.
When you think, like, in terms of where the money is, like, funding it's hard to get from places, and so the biggest ways of getting money is just earning it, like yourself. However, when you think of things like football, there is money everywhere, and that's because the audiences are so massive.
It's true.
Like, there is just so much money in football because the audience is huge, and so it's like thinking of, like, how can we use the audience that there is for theatre, but maybe in different ways? How can we how are they different? I mean, even this podcast is evidence of trying to access that audience in a different way.
I think
Whether it works or not is still to be seen.
there's so much funding put into football, and we have the Arts Council England and the government, not, you know, to get political, but the government don't put money into arts. Like, I think that's just a fact. You know, with Rishi Sunak
Wanting to cut
like
degrees,
unnecessary degrees, like it drives me mad, and people don't understand, can't put two and two together and think, in lockdown, when there was this whole thing about getting people to retrain, you know, you can't put two and two together. If you sat in lockdown and didn't have Netflix, Disney Plus, you know, digital theatre at home, like all of these things, who do you think does that? The people with the creative degrees, you know, the drama students, the dance students, the film and TV students, you know, if you don't have people with creative degrees, you don't have any entertainment. And so,
like, performance is so valuable.
It is. Thank you.
You gave a lot of stuff.
I feel so passionately about this because when I was year 6, I wrote a letter to my head teacher saying that
voice began to wobble there.
that drama should be in the curriculum. Like, I've always felt very passionate about this because I've done theatre since I was about 4 years old, and people don't take you seriously because they think it's silly and stupid or whatever, and then it'll be like, oh, I love Spider-Man, love Tom Holland. Yeah, well, where did he start? Billy Elliot.
Yeah.
So when you got that exercise that everyone gets in primary school to write a letter to your principal,
Yes.
you wrote to add drama to the curriculum.
Yes. Okay, I didn't understand how the curriculum worked at that point.
I'm pretty sure I wrote to, like, add cakes to the menu at the school.
I don't think
that?
anyone apart from Kaitlin would have asked, like, to add a subject to the curriculum.
Well,
Kaitlin is unique.
Anyone else even used the word curriculum?
Before I knew how many GCSEs you could take, I was going to take everything. I was like, I'm such a little weirdo, I know, but I love learning. That's why I'm doing a drama and education degree. You know, it tracks, it makes sense. But, you know, I do feel very passionately because I think if there was then the world needs more theatre. I could actually talk. This is bad because we need to round it up. But I could talk about this.
We'll
for
do
years.
a separate episode if you want. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a very fun episode to do, Ill.
I hope you don't mind our ill-sounding voices too much.
Yeah, we apologise and hope that the next one, which will include Cameraman Joe, I hope we're back to normal.
Woo!
So thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, follow our socials, all of that jazz.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.